If you're someone new to Janet's work, then you're going to be blown away.
What I went for and what I ended up doing was completely different, really.
There was like a rainbow from one person's heart to the next. When someone opened, it was like, bang! And then they'd be like, have a look over there. Look what effect this other person, look how this person's also feeling something. And then they would burst into whatever was alive for them. So there was like these jumping rainbows which kept feeding the space.
It was just a delight, really. It was really, really beautiful.
The way she sets up and the way she brings lightness and joy into the space is really magical.
Yeah, there was love, there was clarity, there was anger, and there was lots of fun. Like, it's joyful to be a reminder that it can be, yeah, fun in the mess. And so Janet really brought that reminder. Like, someone would be deeply feeling and she could make a joke, and it's like, oh, radical that you were joking while these big things are happening. And it was infectious.
The reason why I ended up there was really pretty organic, really. After seeing Stylebender, it really intrigued me with the psychology of a sports person. I'm a PT by trade, and so I do a lot of training. And I found Janet fascinating, how she worked with Israel. Yeah, that's why I went to see the video with my partner, and all of a sudden it was quite strange because we saw Janet's truck on the main street of Motueka, and then the next minute we're talking to Janet at a coffee shop, and the next minute we're booked to go to her course.
What it boils down to is vulnerability and not feeling like you're alone in your problems or your fears or the things that you find a barrier, and that we're more alike than we are different. And when you find that out about strangers in a day or two, it is magic.
I think she really meets you where you are. There's this sense that she's there, and she's there for anything. There's no judgment.
Every person got to be met exactly where they were at, whilst also invited into the messy, into the unknown, but not to go too far. And so there was this perfect container of, I welcome you. Is this enough? Like, listen to yourself. So the wisdom of the person was really ignited.
The way Janet held the space and worked with these distinctions and the clarity that she brought created a field of safety for feelings to come in. It was a bit like a vacuum, but it had a lot of gentleness and a lot of respect for a no or not now, or when feelings came, everything was welcomed. It was just like when the yes was there, when any participant had a yes for whatever they experienced, it was just like floodgates could open, and within that, it created a field of authenticity and warmth and love.
She just brings people together in a really beautiful way, and it's very just curiosity, constant curiosity about things, and she's also very curious about herself in that space and will be very vulnerable in that space. If she says something and she thinks, oh, actually I want to do over, she'll do that, and she's really living what she's speaking about.
I was going to learn about psychology, but I really learned about myself, actually, and dug up some stuff that I have not wanted to deal with, I suppose. Being, told that you got to harden up, take a concrete pill, you're a pussy and all that sort of stuff. So dealing with your emotions is not really a thing. Might be a Kiwi male thing, I don't know, but wasn't a thing that I was dealing with your emotions. The feel to heal thing was totally new to me. I'd rather go and smash a bag or, do it physically. But Janet gave me a safe space to express myself intellectually and emotionally, I suppose. Yeah, so
I was really shocked by how quick the space like cracked open. So within 3 minutes of someone checking in, the whole space was like I've never experienced this, such a quick unfolding of people feeling and being vulnerable together.
I think there's a lot of fear around this work as well, where there is vulnerability and openness and honesty around our feelings. I think that in New Zealand, we're not so great at that, and that's reflected in our statistics with suicide.
For me personally, in the workshop, I was able to go into some new healing spaces that I didn't have before, and was able to bring a lot more boundaries around my own personal space and what I was available for, which traditionally has been really hard for me. And that spilled over, well, I say spilled over, like it was an accident. I think it was actually quite intentional into my relationship. Like on the Monday after the course, my partner and I were together, and there's been some challenges in our physical relationship where we're both doing a lot of healing respectively. And because of the freshness of that workshop and the things I've been learning, I was able to hold space for my partner and really create a safe space in the sexual realm, which really made a big shift in how I've shown up. There's always been an expectation, I think, a sneaky expectation somewhere behind it. And by using the skills I learned in Janet's workshop, really helped me to open that space and say, hey, like I'm here, and it's not about an outcome or an expectation. It's just like I'm here, let's continue on this healing path. So it was really magical to see that in practice.
Yeah, I've never seen it in that powerful consistency happening over 2 days, and what can happen just using the gentle tool of feedback loops. That was just so, yeah, it was just magic happening.
yes, I have gained a wealth of tools to help me and help others. Last night, I actually gave a listening space for a friend, and I said to her, I am now holding a listening space. You got 10 minutes, and we done a clinical chat. And it was really neat because I would have never done that. I would have gone, harden up, mate. What's wrong with you?
And my feeling was that this space of being able to feel anchors me in unconditional love. And this was the first time, sounds so simple, but to be in a loving space with no conditions naturally happens when I can feel. And so this felt really beautiful.
I was able to deal with the emotions and process them and deal with my, as Janet said, my shit. And I told Janet that I wanted to let some light in, love and light in, and get rid of the hate and darkness. So yeah, that's what I did.
Yeah, one thing that I personally was able to realize and was able to heal with some of the other men in the space was this sense of there's this kind of spectre of masculinity which is really off in the distance somewhere, and it's constantly got a bit of a watch over me, and I constantly have to I feel like I have to check myself against that. So am I matching up to that sense of masculinity, that patriarchal kind of expectation? And by being with the men in the space, some very typically masculine men, to be able to share that space with them and go through it and support them and them support me was really transformational for me. It definitely helped me heal some more layers that I didn't know were there. So
I've had a big journey with being able to connect and love men, and in this space it was so clear to me there was no barrier to connect with men. There was one of the men went into a deep release of anger, and my connection was like the words were "I love you," which felt so odd. I was like, well, what does this mean? I'm not his friend, I'm not his family, how can this be? And there was just this, I love you so much, I love you, this strange man. Whereas short time ago, maybe some months ago, I wanted to destroy all the men. And now I was like, I want to be with the men. And this is huge. Yeah, huge for me to be able to connect to that.
I met people and opened up and made connections and felt so connected. It's opened up so many doors and made me more passionate for the work that I'm doing again.
Yeah, so it was deeply heart-opening and connecting.
That is really what really vibrates still in me, the warmth and the connection that could happen, and the authenticity that everyone had arrived all of a sudden with their feeling being there.
I give a lot of my clients love. I really give them 100% when I train them and stuff. But I've never told my sons I love them. So that was a major thing for me, a realization for me there.
And we had big feelings coming through. And then after that, it was just like a release, and it was joy in the room. And the joy was very tangible as well. So the drama of big feelings, or the worry about big feelings, was gone somehow. There was a lightness there, and yes, big pain as well, big feelings. But that was okay. It was more than okay. It was just a point of connection and love growing.
I would recommend men to do it, and I think the Stylebender, the UFC piece, is a really great in, because that's someone whose job is to be violent and to do that as a career. So if he can do that, then anyone can do it.
Yeah, I'm encouraging all people to go. It's great that the Stylebender movie has made this all come to light, especially for men. You have to experience the workshops and the way that she works with people to feel this way. I don't feel like it's something I can describe. I don't think I'll do it justice in the words that we have. It's a feeling and an experience. It's not something that you will experience regularly unless you do this type of work.